Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast. My name is Kurt. I'm your host for tonight, and together with me are Francis
Hey guys.
and Ina,
Hello.
and we are
Lemonpods.
What's up, guys?
Kamusta?
What's up?
Welcome to another episode.
Yes.
Kamusta naman ng mga araw nyo?
It's
Mainit.
hot. Very hot. My gosh.
No, but soon, magiging tag-ulan na. So,
Mas gusto mo ba yan, maulan?
no, not really naman. Pero,
You know what's hotter than today?
what?
Our topic.
Talaga?
It's not a joke, guys.
That's true.
Sige, ano ba topic natin, ha?
Our topic today is art in general.
Wow.
Grabe, it's such a big
Wow.
word.
So, hey to all the artists.
It's such a big
Yeah,
word,
I
you know,
know.
few letters. Pero hindi ko lang kung masispelling pa ni Joven yun eh.
Siguro naman, di ba?
Wala na nga siya dito. Siya pa yung topic natin.
nga pala. Oh, hindi na.
Joven, if you're listening, my Chanel bag.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
But going back, art is, for me, yes, of course, tayo, kumbaga, yung industry na ginagalawan natin is, we can say na part siya ng art, di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny kasi all of us are in the art industry.
Yes,
Exactly,
actually.
di ba? So, parang, for me, parang, especially nung nagsisimula ako, nung college, parang ang hirap sabihin mo sa sarili mo that you're an artist, or parang ipinoproclaim mo that you're an artist, 'di ba? Parang for me, parang at some point it should be coming from other people na parang,
Yes.
'di ba? Parang
Like a validation of some sort.
Yeah.
For others to call you an artist.
Oo, parang gano'n. Pero kasi may mga tao din na parang alam mo 'yun, na parang they don't need the validation itself because kumbaga sobrang kumpano na rin sila. Parang they're very sure of themselves na artist talaga sila. You know, there are some people like that.
Can I ask, kasi kami ni Ina nag-electives kami high school arts eh. Ikaw ba, Kurt? Did you do anything art-related nung high school? Or
Honestly, nung high school ako, parang we don't have electives like that. Parang pinaka-electives lang namin was calculus.
Oh, sige.
Oh my
How
gosh.
about like mga art contest, ganon?
Poster making contest.
More on,
Oh
more
my God.
more on parang role play. You know,
Oh!
mga ganun.
Ah.
Mga ganun. Siyempre, acting ang
Yes.
lolo mo.
Oh.
So, dun tayo.
Theater club rin pala to
Yes,
eh.
I feel like that's one of the reason also kung bakit ako nag-film, because I like acting itself. Na parang, alam mo yun, I love watching films, ganyan. Tapos parang, parang feeling ko yun yung talagang at some point nag-push din sa akin. But then again, before, parang growing up, nung bata ako, parang parang hindi ko siya naiisip. Parang I thought magme-meds ako. Magme-medicine ako, basically. Tapos parang, nung nag-high school ako, hanggang sa mag-college ako, na-realize ko na ako lang ang nasa art industry. Most of my family nasa medicine talaga or business. Parang gano'n.
Same.
You know, funny enough, you should mention medicine because most of the doctors I know are amazing artists.
Yeah.
Like they don't say it
Mm-mm.
but when you see them draw, ang galing nila.
Hindi, I feel like when it comes to medicine, I feel like there's art behind that, especially the surgeries.
Oh, yes.
Diba?
It's called medical art.
Yes, diba? So,
Pero funny enough when they write,
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Doc, ano tong reseta na to?
For some people,
It's also art.
it's art, diba?
Abstract.
Parang abstract, diba?
I guess. Only the nurses
Yes.
understand and the pharmacists understand, you know? There
Kayo
are...
ba, nung bata kayo, parang you feel like art is, or parang dito kayo mag-fall sa industry na to?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're sure.
Oh, wow. Grabe.
When I was young, sure.
Yeah, me too. I mean, kasi for me, most of the professions that I wanted were kind of unattainable. Like, I wanted to be an astronaut. Hello.
It's not unattainable. It's just very difficult.
It's very difficult, and I'm a person who doesn't really like math, and that needs a lot of math. So, unattainable for me.
Of course, nasa Philippines ka, hindi naman sa pag-aano, pero I feel like parang sobrang...
You need to be in a different country.
Yung opportunity, hindi siya ganun kadali. Diba?
Yeah.
It's expensive to be an astronaut.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's very difficult. Yeah.
So ayun, when I was a child, I knew that I wanted to be in a profession that is kind of related to art, but I knew that I wanted to design. Kasi when I was a kid, I started designing clothes. Hello, typical, babae. But I used to design a lot of clothes. Yung mga drawing lang, ganon. But I think as I grew older, you start to realize that what they say about art is that it imitates life.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of true. But also, sometimes art dictates life.
Yeah, for sure.
Kasi with art comes design. Obviously, if you study design, you study art. And some of the things that we actually use in our everyday lives, we don't notice because they are designed very, very well.
Yeah.
The only time that you would notice something is when parang you can't use it properly because it wasn't designed well. So it imitates life, but it also dictates how life would go, how you go about your life. But you don't notice it.
You know what's funny? I remember reading about it na nature is very mathematically designed.
Yes.
And sabi mo nga, diba, art dictates life.
Yes.
So parang, ayaw mo sa math, diba?
No, funny enough.
So,
I
Ina?
think math is also a form of art. Like, what Francis mentioned about nature and stuff. Especially like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. That is math.
Yeah.
And people use these to make quote-unquote perfect compositions of things. Diba?
Yeah.
So, math is still a part. Maybe,
You can't
you
escape
don't
math,
really,
guys.
you don't really do like calculations and stuff. But unknowingly, you also pretty much.
I feel like parang art kasi is life basically.
Yeah.
So alam mo yun, parang everything that connects to you, a life, art na yun 'di ba? Parang everything, parang there's a art behind that.
Yes.
Lahat yun, 'di ba? Na parang kaya siya sobrang powerful, I guess, na parang minsan hindi lang siya parang for some people, parang they just feel like walang pera dyan. Ganito yan. Pero, parang they didn't know na parang everything you do here, it's about art or may art na connection, di ba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, relating to what you said, actually, there are some people, kasi at one point, everything was being released as, let's say, the art of drinking wine, the art of coffee. And some people tried to say, this whatever particular thing is not an art. And I'm like, well, if you do take your time to learn it, to master it, you could be an artisan of that certain thing.
Yeah.
And it's considered art.
Exactly.
You make something beautiful. You make something romantic. Because art is pretty romantic, diba?
Yeah, of course.
In its classical
Sense.
in its classical sense, yes.
Yeah.
So that's what they were trying to do.
But will there be a time ba na parang you can't say, parang you can say that that's not art? Parang pwede ba yun? Kasi 'di ba you were saying na parang everything is parang ito nga art of drinking wine, etc., etc., 'di ba? When to say na that's not art? Parang ganon.
I think it's subjective. I'll go into into art history a little bit. So we have classical paintings, diba? We have Renaissance, we have Baroque, we have all that. And that's everything with that was considered art. But then there was this movement that came, it's called postmodernism. So that's almost contemporary na, very so obviously postmodern, diba?
Yeah, of course.
And all these artists, most of them, they were doing parang, oh my God, what? I don't understand what you were trying to do. Especially this movement called Dadaism.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, it's called Dadaism.
I think you should explain some terms for the listeners.
I am not very intellectual when it comes to the.
In your own words. Sige, let's say.
Hindi,
say that
I'll say
or
it
maybe
in your own words.
they just need to look for it, Google na lang
I'll give
nila
an
para hindi tayo
example na lang.
maano.
I'll give an example na lang.
Hindi tayo audience friendly Wala pa tayong video. Pag may video guys, we'll point out some references, images para isisingit namin sa
Okay.
We'll get
next
there.
time,
We'll get
promise.
there.
Okay.
Promise.
The Merriam-Webster definition of Dadaism is it's the movement. It's a movement in art and literature based on deliberate irrationality and negation of traditional artistic values. So that would mean it's out of scale, it's out of proportion, it's out of balance. You really don't know what's going on. As in, they really, if you want an angsty teen era in art, this is it. They were creating anarchy. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for sure, art is evolving eh.
Yeah.
Parang talagang every now and then, 'di ba? Meron tayo madidiscover na style, meron tayong
Yeah.
madidiscover na lahat ma-correlate natin into art, kaya nga maraming forms of art, 'di ba? Marami, kumbaga every day pwede mo siyang i-correlate dun sa anong art form to, 'di ba? Parang for example, kapag if you're into movies, 'di ba? Film, ganyan basically,
Oo.
'di ba? Or parang performance, 'di ba? Basically, 'di ba? Dance, ganyan,
Yeah.
acting, 'di ba? Or painting, ganyan, 'di ba? So, maraming klase na art forms na pwede nating in everyday na ginagawa natin is marerelate natin into art, right?
Yeah. Ayun. But, so, going back real quick, yung Dadaism, to answer your question, like, is there something that can be considered art and not art? So, one example of the Dadaism is, like, they featured a toilet sa museum and they called it art. And then some people were like, oh my God, this is not art. And then some people were like, oh my God, yes, this is art. So I think what it all boils down to is your perception of something. Because you really can't change other people's minds about, like, if they feel a certain way when it comes to art. Kasi art
Yeah.
is very, very, very subjective.
I agree.
True enough. I mean, like, take for example yung film, The Room. Not really a great film, but it's become a pop culture icon, I guess.
Some people hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hate it to its core, but some people like it.
Yeah.
Because it for them, it's like perfect.
Lahat naman, lahat may gusto. Kumbaga it matter kung taste mo o hindi.
Yeah,
Diba?
exactly.
Yes. So, ayun nga. We were talking about The Room, diba?
Oh.
I actually haven't seen The Room. I've only read reviews about The Room.
But you haven't
But-
watched the James Franco remake?
No.
Not
I
even?
haven't. I haven't
Alright.
seen any. Yeah, not even. Because yun nga, I've read reviews and they were mostly bad.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you've seen
Yeah.
it.
I've seen it.
So, what do you, like, we're talking about the film as an art form, diba? What do you think that represents? Like, I've only read na people hate it because it's stupid, it's all over the place, it doesn't make sense. So for you guys, what does it represent something, or is it just trying to say something, or is it just because they wanted to make something?
Yeah, I guess it's just the guy trying to say something with his own vision of it, I guess. You know, I mean for me, even if you have all the equipment in the world, but if you see the vision of you doing something that's art related, tapos you only see like these tools are what you need. You don't need any other technical stuff. You don't need other styles. You just want to do it like this. That's you saying something already, diba?
And ako naman, for me, more than the how it made, parang I feel like it's about this personality itself, no? Na parang it represent na parang there are certain type of people na may gantong personality, parang ganon. Parang dun siya, yun yung parang representation niya. Like another type of, I mean, there are a lot of personalities na hindi mo maintindihan or jive kayo or vibe kayo, parang ganon.
Yeah.
I see. So it was kind of like fashion.
Yeah.
You know how okay, so I learned this in art school. Fashion shows, you know, you see really weird things in haute couture fashion shows, diba? Like the girl walking around with a pillow on her head, para siyang nakahiga, ganon. And we were talking about this in class, and then the professor was like, what do you think these haute couture shows represent. Why are they not wearable? Because obviously, as a designer, as a fashion designer, you would want people to wear your clothes, so they buy it, diba? But what is this? What are they trying to do here? These designers have haute couture shows to launch the collection of the season. So this is basically brain fart. This is my idea, absorb it. And then I will release a wearable version based on this idea that I showed you. Yes, so
Ganun
it
pala
all
siya.
boils down to, it all boils down to, this is the idea. And then I'll make something,
Wearables,
I'll mold it
yeah.
into something more commercial, more acceptable by the mass, so that I can actually make money off of my art. It was a good lesson on how to do business in art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kasi diba, you can't really sell those weird, crazy outfits because no one's gonna wear them. Well, people might buy them, but just as display.
Yeah.
But they won't really wear them. They'll wear the ready-to-wear collection for that season. It was a good eye-opener kasi nobody really gets art and artists.
For sure.
Art is basically you do you. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you do you, di ba? Parang ikaw, parang if you're gonna make an art, what's your representation? Ano yung gusto mong i-represent in an art form na, for you?
Wow, loaded question.
Yeah, very very deep, I
Yeah.
could swim in it.
I think, I don't know, because I'm only 27, and I think that's a not so young age. Okay, I'm not gonna call myself young, but I think it's early for me to say that this is definitely who I am, and I will not grow from it. So I think right now, it would just be like a mess, like if we're talking about paintings, it would just be like a mess of things, a mess of colors, a mess of different moods, and you just wouldn't understand. Because I myself don't understand myself. But the great thing about art is that it evolves through time, depending on, well, one of the main influences of art is politics. So as art progresses, it is controlled, not really controlled, it is influenced by the culture that is continually changing and the politics that is changing with the people during that time. So I think with Kurt's question, right now that is my representation for my art, but you don't know, maybe tomorrow it could change.
Yeah, every day.
True.
Possible.
That's what's good about art. It's
Yeah.
very adaptive.
Yeah, what about you, Francis?
Our own style it continually changes pero like kasi when people see your art, if they know you for a long time, even if you change it,
Yeah, there's a part of you no?
Dramatically?
Parang yung core mo, nandun pa din
Yeah.
they'll say, "Oy, kay Kurt to, sure."
Yeah. Or,
You have your own signature in.
yeah, style,
It's not-
basically.
Style, yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Pero right now,
Oh, yeah. No, sige, you go first.
Hindi, sige.
Oh.
Kaya
Gusto mo
ba?
Alright.
Sige, ako na.
Alright. I was
Hindi,
Okay,
ano
go.
ba?
I know, I just wanted to say, like, have you seen paintings of Ayala Zobel de Ayala?
Yeah.
So you see his paintings, diba? And they're mostly like, you would think that they're just brush strokes, diba? But that's actually his style, Like, he does different studies, so like sketches and stuff, but in the end, the things that he actually would put up on a gallery are brush strokes. Sometimes they have color, sometimes they don't have color. So I guess when we're talking about signature, that is his signature.
Yeah, for sure. Kasi, I mean, yun yung ano nila parang that's how they want to be known din, diba? With that kind of style, diba? And I feel like, lahat naman may kanya-kanyang style, and for sure hindi lahat din naman yun para magugustuhan ng tao. And there are artists like they don't mind kung hindi magustuhan to ng mga tao, because I'm making an art for me, not for
it's not for
diba?
you.
Yeah, diba? Pero ako, if for me, parang yung representation that I would make someday or in the near future, because I'm into film. Parang I'd like to make a film na parang I want to represent the yung mga, I guess, struggles and yung mga hindi alam ng tao about yung mga old people, basically yung day-to-day life nila, tapos parang in a film format, basically. Parang I'm just very parang curious and very into them ako, na parang grabe itong mga, like for example, an old couple, parang there's so much love na parang kahit hindi nag-uusap sila, tapos nasa isang room lang sila, but you can feel the love, parang ganon. And parang if you're gonna visualize it, parang ang art na ng dating itself, kahit na parang they're in the same room, but pero it feels like tabi lang sila, pero hindi talaga sila magkatabi. Parang something like that. But basically, all about old people na parang kung paano nila nilalabas yung love nila for each other. Something like that. Parang
yeah.
Francis, you were gonna say something before I so politely cut you off.
I was just saying na I remember one of Zobel's paintings in Ayala Museum. I don't know if people will recognize it, but it's the painting that looks like wings flying off.
That's the one in his special room.
Yeah. With all his paintings and even the notebooks,
Yes, the notebooks. I remember the notebooks.
Yeah. And
which is really interesting that you mention wings, because I do not remember, because I used to go every week to Ayala Museum.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Ayala Museum. Anyway,
Cash.
it was only 75 pesos, student discount.
Oh yeah, kasi
Yeah.
bata pa tayo
So,
dati. Oh,
Yeah. And I was a student for a very long time.
Grabe yung bata pa tayo, Bata pa naman tayo.
Kasi tayong perks yung discounts. Anyway, go on.
Yun, so I was saying, funny you mention it, because I do not remember seeing a painting of wings. The whole time that I would go there, I would only see brush strokes. And I was thinking, oh my God, what painting is this? Like, wings? And Francis, can you confirm that they're actually just brush strokes that look like wings?
I mean, yeah, it's brush strokes, obviously. But I could see it as wings,
No, I mean like, parang random. It's not specifically painted as wings.
When you say it's random, I think it's just methodical for me. With the way he did it.
For me, it's different din kasi kung yung different perspectives, Like you can say
Yeah.
for you brush strokes lang yan, but for other people it's wings,
Yes.
'di ba? Different interpretation basically. That sometimes an artist can only, confirm, 'di ba, about it.
Yeah. Like, so it's like going back to what we were talking about a while ago, like how art is influenced by culture, politics. It's also, the way we view art is also a reflection of us as a person, as an individual.
Yeah.
So like maybe Francis saw wings and I saw just random methodical brush strokes.
Yeah,
diba?
for sure.
It's magical, my God. Art is magical.
Actually,
Right.
I feel like that's funny kasi 'di ba, parang sometimes yung ibang artist, sa kanila wala lang talaga. Like, they
Yes.
don't do such thing na parang, ito kasi yan. Ganun. Walang explanation talaga. Pero some people who, very into art, parang, ito yung interpretation dyan, ganito, ganyan. Yung artist nito, ganito, ganyan. So, parang alam mo yun, yung iba pang tao, kung sino pa yung hindi gumawa, sila yung nagbibigay ng interpretations.
Yes.
Diba? Na parang, pero pag tinanong mo yung artist, parang, pwede, oo nga, no?
It's like
Diba?
those
It's
books that you you read in
Every
class.
English teacher. Oh, so what does he mean by this?
And then
That the door was blue.
and then
Diba?
and then the teacher goes, "Oh, in this scenario, he meant that he looked at her like he was in love with her, burning as hot as the sun." And then if you ask the writer goes, "No, he was just really hot, burning like the sun." Sometimes like you
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to interpret something It's not wrong. We're not saying it's wrong for you.
That's
to
why there's no
interpret
such thing as
things
right and wrong when it comes to
when it comes to
interpret,
art.
diba?
Yeah.
Although, what if, okay, so what if this certain piece portrays something that, what you call divide society, like sexism, racism, ageism, like, is that a good thing?
Of course,
For you
it's
guys?
not.
I
For me,
mean-
it's not a good thing, because yung fact pa lang na parang kinakategorize mo na siya just because of your sex, just because of your race, just because of your age, kumbaga, I feel like hindi dapat nakokontrol yon just because of, yung mga ganung ika-categorize ka as that, And I feel like when it comes to art, it should be free. It's for everybody basically, 'di ba? It should be like that. It's hindi ka dapat wala dapat maghihinder sa just because you're a guy or you're a girl, 'di ba? Parang ganon. Or parang I feel like no one can say to you na parang you can't do this because you're Asian. You can't do this because you're a girl, parang ganon, 'di ba? Because no one can say that to a person, especially if he or she is very, into it. Alam mo yun? Parang yung ina-express niya lang yung sarili niya through that art, Hindi siya pwede siyang pigilan just because yun nga, babae siya, lalaki siya, puti siya, black siya, Asian siya, whatsoever. Or bata pa siya, or parang matanda na siya, things like that.
I like seeing these topics in art because for me, art should be controversial. Not like should be, but one of the best things that art could be is controversial because it gets people talking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because
Very
since
true.
art is everything, right? We discussed that art is everything. Art is everywhere. It's pretty accessible. Because Kurt was talking about accessibility, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm saying that since a lot of art is accessible, especially nowadays, to a lot of different people, I like it when art has these topics in them. Because, oh wow, this artist told a story about racism. Like it's a very brave thing to do. Put it out there.
You did say a while ago though na art is political
Yeah.
as
So,
well, right?
I
Yeah.
think that's a good way to get people to talk. But the only thing I don't like that happens when people talk about this in art is that the hostility that comes with it.
Yeah, it's true. But then again, can I just say propaganda is also art.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah. No
matter
Of
how
course.
you look at it.
Like
There's always a message in art.
there was never, I don't think, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was never a piece of propaganda art that did not move people. Like, because
Yeah.
art tends
True,
to
true.
move you towards certain feelings.
Exactly.
They may not change your view, but you may feel something different about this certain topic if you see this piece of art that the artist wants you to feel.
Yeah, and sometimes in the long run, parang dun pa lang siya take effect sa'yo Na parang syempre siguro I guess in the first few days, weeks or years, parang wala pa siyang effect sa'yo, pero yung may mga propaganda or art na in the long run, ito yung effect na pala sa akin. Parang gano'n.
Yeah.
I guess, that's it.
That's it for now.
I actually want to talk more about art, but if you guys like art as a topic, I mean, because three of us, we are self-proclaimed artists in our own way.
Yeah.
If you guys like this topic, I mean, you could give us a
Expound
shout
it.
out. Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Let us know what you think.
We could get into more
Yeah.
detail about, like, particularly the stuff that we know individually. And
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
more controversial topics in art because I think
Yeah.
art is the bomb.
Let's talk about art, diba? Let's make it a habit, diba?
I love art.
We do
I
love
love
art.
art so much. That's all I have to say. My God.
Alright, guys. People are listening. We are finally on Instagram, guys.
Yay! Please do follow us.
At Lemonpods. Same as our Facebook, Lemonpods, YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, Lemonpods. Thanks, guys.
Once again, thank you for listening to our podcast. My name is Kurt, and together with me are Francis
Bye.
and Ina,
Bye, guys. I love art.
and we are Lemonpods.
Lemonpods.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
Same time.